right. I had to make a change of plan last minute because of Monday Night Football. You all see the title on YouTube right there of what this week's episode? Yes, I am mad about how that game went down on Monday Night Football, that I completely changed my script. I had to cut a couple segments out so I can make sure this show doesn't go over an hour long. Anyway, I got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. This is the Slater Report podcast. Today's Tuesday, November 5th. Boy, do I got a show for you. Can't wait to dive in this. I'm your host, Braid Slater. Yep, this is the Slater Report podcast. And you see the title, NFL Overtime Rules Are So Stupid. I don't even know what to say. College football overtime rules, yeah. They've made changes to the overtime rule the past couple of years. Kind of made it worse, but college football overtime rules is far superior over NFL. Don't get me started about that NFL kickoff, whatever they got going on there. Anyway, before I go right into that segment, I'll go talk about it later on the show, but I got some big things to talk about, and let's first start off with playoff impact alert. Yep, over upsets alert. Let's start off with Ohio State and Penn State. Boy, was this a good one. Yeah, or if you want to stick to the normal script in this game, yeah, Penn State leads majority of the game, like always, like the last 8 years, pretty much. I don't know why I said 8 years. I just came up with a random number, but it feels like 8 years. And then Ohio State comes back in the fourth quarter. They're not even trailing that much, maybe 10 points at most. They come back, take the lead in the fourth quarter, and win 20-13. And it's actually an upset alert, even though, because Ohio State is the lower seed. But I don't think it's much of an upset. I actually had Ohio State winning this game. So, yeah, not a surprise for me in this one. Let's go to A&M in South Carolina. Yep. South Carolina won this game 44-20. Now, keep in mind, it was 20-20 at halftime. Yeah. A&M, what in the world happened? You were supposed to be the top of the SEC this year after you destroyed, well, I wouldn't say destroyed, but I mean, handled LSU last week, and then South Carolina just comes in there, plays a close game, and then completely blows you out, shuts you out in the second half. It wins 44-20. But also, if you really think about it, I think A&M or South Carolina defense really stepped up and hold the shootout because, I mean, South Carolina scored 20 points in the first half, 24 points in the second half, pretty much the same amount of points in both halves. A&M, where was your offense in this game? Anyway, on to the Big 12. Yeah, another big upset. Yeah, the Big 12 is going to be my main talking point this week before what happened last night. Because the Big 12 top teams, besides BYU, luckily they had a bye week, completely fell apart. I mean, Texas Tech handled. They not only just a complete blowdown, they had total control of this game the whole time, winning 23-22. And I mean, I know they only won by 1 point, but I mean, Tech was really well prepared in this game. Now on to Louisville and Clemson. Yeah, another upset in the ACC, and Louisville handled this one. What in the world happened to Clemson? I thought they were trending upwards after their quarterback change. But yeah, Louisville ends up winning 33-21. No, on the Big 12. Back to the Big 12 and upset alert. Yeah, I didn't put a playoff impact on this one because I don't think Kansas State's in the playoff race. And they're certainly out of the Big 12 race in this one now with their loss to Houston, 24-19. K-State's likely going to be out of the rankings now. And on to Pitt and SMU. I mean, everyone thought that, they're going to get completely destroyed in the ACC. Their first year in the ACC. They're not even getting paid like all the other schools. They're dominating. I mean, they're not just pulling off upsets and winning this game. They're dominating their opponents. I mean, Pitt is 18, undefeated. SMU at home wins 48-25. Yeah, tell me that SMU is good without telling me SMU is good. Alright, let's talk about some conference breakdowns. Kansas had a bye week, so we're going to jump right in to Oklahoma. And I go about it alphabetically. Real quick with Oklahoma, 59-14. Yep, finally some offense in this game. I mean, look at the stats in this. I mean, 665 yards, 284 passing. Finally, over 100 yards in rushing. Not over 100, not 200, 300. And they're 20 yards away from being 400. But the penalties really hurt Oklahoma early in this game. But, I mean, still, 59-14. I mean, look at Jackson Arnold's stats. I mean, he still hasn't thrown that many interceptions, still interception-less in this game. He's just got to protect the ball a little bit. He has had a couple fumbles. Maybe I need to add a fumble list to his stats. I need to make a note to start doing that. But 71%, not bad. 224 yards. And for the first time this year, Oklahoma allowed 0 sacks. Woo! Yeah, but they did allow 2 touchdowns in this game. One of them was on the first drive, so they were down 7-0 early in this game. But the offense, oh boy, did they show up and were well prepared. Yeah, over 300 yards in rushing, and they broke the stadium record. Stadium record for the longest yard touchdown. Now, statistically, it's going to go down to 90 yards, but Arnold threw that pass from the back of the end zone. So, yeah, it is well over 100, maybe 100, I would say 105-yard touchdown pass. New record at Owen Field. Now on to the Cowboys. Oh boy, this was not going to be a fun one for those fans. Yep, Arizona, after having a over 2-hour weather delay. Yeah, the game was originally scheduled at 6 o'clock. Then they moved it to 2:30 because of the weather. They did play the first half, got the halftime, went a 2-hour delay, like I just mentioned. And the second half started roughly around 6:10 or whatever, around the original time the game was supposed to start. And the scores were way over by then. It was out, so they should have just kept the game at the normal time. Why in the world did they move it up? Anyway, Arizona State Arizona State was only up by a touchdown at halftime. And Oklahoma State scored like 0 points in the second half. Arizona State, you see the final score right there, 42-21. And my big notes, yeah, not getting off the field on third downs. I just could not. And the offense, with the other way around, they couldn't stay on the field on third down. Only 84 yards in rushing. Yeah, they still can't get Ollie Gordon going. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with OSU's running game, but I know heading into this season they had no passing game ever. But that running game definitely needs to be fixed right away. Texas got a bye week. I'll talk about more of them on American Game Day on Saturday, but Tulsa gets manhandled by UAB 59-21. Alright, let's talk about some college football headlines. Boy, do I got some, a good one for you. Yeah, South Carolina got fined for the SEC. $250,000 they have to pay A&M. Destroyed the bushes, the hedges, as the fans rushed the field over the win over A&M. I gotta say, that is how you storm a field. I am so tired. I mean, I'm not against field storming. It's the fans that do it after, like, every win. Even if it's not, like, a top 10 matchup. I mean, yeah, you beat number 1, or, like, Vanderbilt beating Alabama. Yeah, do it. But, Tennessee beating Alabama, and the Tennessee fans stormed the field. You do know Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, and, let me think back. Yeah, Alabama's not a top 10 team this year, so storming the field for Tennessee was stupid. But, A&M, top 10, number 1 in the SEC before this game started. South Carolina handled them very well. That is how you storm the field. And then a big one to talk about. Yes, the first college football playoff rankings will be out tonight. The top 25 rankings. So we'll be able to see an early look of what the college football playoff will look like tonight at 6 o'clock. It's actually starting right about now, right at the same time this show started. And, yeah. I'm still deciding, but, you remember the, podcast show I was gonna try and start last year, Debatable? Yeah, I'm still questionable if I'm going to, do that show or not, like a quick, brief show that I probably won't put it on YouTube, but, like, something like, I'll put on Twitter or something, like a quick, like a reaction, video to the ranking that I'll probably put up around tomorrow around lunchtime in the afternoon. But some key teams to pay attention to, not just watch, like, oh, we got to, well, obviously watch them. I mean, watch as many college football games as possible, but just watch where these 4 teams pop up in the rankings. Oregon, Miami, Indiana, BYU. Yeah. Obviously, Oregon's going to be number 1. If they're not, there's going to be a riot happening. Miami, definitely a top 5 team, but how high in the top 5? 2, 3, 4? I mean, to me, I think they got to be higher than 5. I'm okay with them being at 4, but, yeah, 3 or 2. Yeah, 2 or 3 right there. Possibly 3 or 4. Maybe, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they put them at 5, but we'll just have to wait and see. Indiana's still undefeated in the Big Ten, and yet there are 2 one-loss Big Ten teams likely gonna be ranked ahead of them. So for me, honestly, I mean, I know Ohio State and Penn State's had better matchups, then probably likely will be the better team later on by the time the season ends, but Indiana 9-0. They better be like up there. I mean, if they're behind Ohio State and Penn State, Indiana better be right behind them. If it's gonna be Ohio State 2, Penn State 3, and then Miami 4, Indiana better be at 5. I mean, like, literally, like, can't be like more than one or 2 spot. And then BYU, the only undefeated team left in the Big 12, definitely gotta be in the top 10. They're not gonna be in the top 10, maybe top 7. They gotta be way up there. It's gotta go Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Miami, Indiana, and then BYU. Boom! Right there. And then you can tossed Boise State up there somewhere. Yeah, Boise State. It'd be interesting to see where Boise State pops up, because they're going to be the highest group, likely going to be the highest group of 5 team when that rankings come out. So it'd be interesting to see how high they go, even though it doesn't matter where they put them. They're going to be the 12th seed, unless they're higher than 12. I don't think they're going to put them higher than 12. But, yeah, I think somewhere between 12 and 15 where we're going to likely see them. And where are they going to put Army as well? All right, let's look at the ACC. The ACC's got some good matchup over the weekend. Miami handled Duke very well. Duke was in the game until halftime, and Miami just shut them out, won 53-31, and Syracuse gets a good win in overtime over Virginia Tech, 38-31. On to the Big Ten. We're starting off with Oregon versus Michigan. Oregon handled Michigan very well, 38-17. And Minnesota beat Illinois. Yep, another ranked upset. Yep, 25-17 over Illinois. And then some more Big Ten teams. Oh, my graphic froze. There it goes. Washington beats USC in a close one, 26-21. And UCLA gets a big upset on the road, 27-20. On to the Big 12 we go. We got TCU versus Baylor, and I gotta say, not really big matchups in the Big 12 this weekend. That past weekend, I mostly did them in the upset alert. But yeah, the Big 12 is a little upset. Yeah, some of their top teams, except for BYU because they had a bye week, lost. Yep, Baylor beating TCU though, 37-34, trying to, yeah. TCU's chance to go to a bowl game. It's done now. UCF completely destroyed Arizona, 56-12. Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of hate for having Arizona favored to win the Big 12 now. I feel silly for that. Yeah, not a good look for me. But UCF, on their way, they win their next couple games. I think they have a real good shot at going to a bowl game as well. All right, so let's look at the SEC real quick. Georgia and Florida was quite a matchup. It was a close game. Florida was really in this game, but Georgia handled it at the end, 34-20. Like always, Georgia is a second-half team. And Tennessee got a little scare, but ended up beating Kentucky 28-18. And then Vanderbilt pulls off the big win on the road, 17-7. Vanderbilt actually, they're bowl eligible, and they're continuing to win. Wow almighty. And then Ole Miss handled Arkansas 63-31, one of the best offense they played all season long. And then on to the group of 5. UTSA upsets Memphis 44-36, eliminating Memphis from a playoff contender. Yep, and then Boise State handles San Diego State 56-24, so Boise State's still in the playoff race. On to our service academy. Army had Army did not have a bye week. They played, Air Force, 20-3. I don't know why I left that, graphic to say, yeah. And I don't even think I updated our standings on that graphic as well. But, yeah. Army, 21, handled the Air Force. It was a little close to the first quarter. But, yeah, Army handled the Air Force 20-3. And then Navy just could not rock the boat at all. Get destroyed by Rice as they expand their win, 24-10. Yeah, and it was in the rain as well. So yeah, it had an over 2-hour delay on that one. All right, who is going bowling? Arizona State going bowling, yeah, over their win over Oklahoma State. Colorado State, Georgia Southern. I love to see group of 5 teams on this list. Iowa's going bowling now. Louisville, Minnesota. I mean, about time we get to see Louisville on this list. And Iowa, I think it's a little late in the season, but yeah, they're going bowling. Syracuse going going bowling. Texas Tech now with that big win over Kansas State. Toledo is going bowling. Vanderbilt is now going bowling. Woo! Yeah, first time since 2018. Western Kentucky and UConn. Yeah, I love to see. Again, love to see the group of 5 go to bowl game this early in the season. All right, let's look at my pick'em. I actually remembered to do it this week, so let's take a look at it. I went 7 for 3, 30 points. I mean, it was the lower ones, but I'll take it. I went 3, get away with 55 and 34 this season, 292 points. I want to try. My goal is to get to 400 points before the season ends. That's going to be really challenging, not really bold of me, but I think I could do it. And I got it right. Ohio State, I had them winning the game. They did, but I thought we'll see more offense in that game. We didn't. I guess 58, the total was 33, and then in the spread, I guess I went a little lower, 49. It still was too high. And Ohio State covered for me as well in that game. So win-win for me. And the spread, I finally get a W in the week. So 6 for 4 in the spread. 440 points. Yeah. My goal is to get to, I think, 600. I didn't get to 600 points in the spread. Well, funny how I'm doing better in the pick, but I have more points in the spread. And I'm 44 and 46 in the spread. Yeah, well, each win in the spread gives me 10 points. On a pickup thing, I rank them based on the game, continental, depending on how many points I get that win. Most of my wins come from the harder games, I guess, the ones I'm least confident about. Weird, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I gotta say, it was a win. After taking a break from my picks, I just need a refresh. But yeah, overrated and underrated time. This week was probably the easiest decision for me. I really love the 2 teams I picked. Yeah, it was easy. Kansas State, their loss to Houston. They now have no quality wins. I mean, if they win the Big 12. They go to the Big 12. They're not winning the Big 12. They're not. But if they somehow end up in the Big 12 championship game, they'll lose, likely. Will they still have a spot? Will they have a shot at the playoffs if they go to the Big 12 championship and lose? Well, as of right now, that answer is a no. And I'm very likely that Kansas City will be out of the rankings. And, the poll is likely out right now, so you're all seeing it before I do. But yeah, very likely Kansas State's not ranked. They're 7-2 now, and they have no quality wins. So Kansas State, my prediction for Kansas State being mid-level in the Big 12 is actually coming true. Take that, K-State fans! Take that! All right, Indiana is underrated, way underrated. They're number 13 from the AP poll. I am just hoping they're in the top 10 in the new rankings. But yeah, their first 9-0 start, blowing out Michigan State 47-10. By the way, they were down 10-0 to start the game. 10-0. And it was the first time they trailed this whole season. And yet, chips to teens find ways to win games, and not just win, blow out your opponent 47-10. Yep. Wow, what a game for Indiana. And by the way, keynote, Army is the only team this year yet to trail. And they're not even in the top 20. Alright, let's look at my rankings. Yep. I have Army, and well, I guess they are in the number 18 now in the new rankings for this week. We'll see how the selection committee does, but yeah, the AP is kind of all over the place. They agree with me on some things, and others I'm very confused. I gotta say, top 4, we're in agreement. Top 4, yeah, some Ohio State, Georgia, 2 through 4 different order, but they're pretty close. It's really hard to put them in the right order. Yeah, Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, Miami. Well, why is Texas up there with the loss and then Penn State? Are you serious? You really have Texas and Penn State higher than Indiana and BYU, and you have them all the way down to 8 and 9? Yeah, I have Indiana at 5 and BYU at 7. Okay, yeah, I do have Texas over BYU. But, Texas does have a good win. I'll say that, a good win. Good ranked win. BYU, they do have that win over Kansas State, but Kansas State's kind of lost, so their BYU's only good win this year is kind of falling apart. So, still waiting on... I mean, BYU is so far the best-looking team in the Big 12. But, yeah, they're still up there. I have them higher than what AP does. So, anyway, Penn State, I have them at 8. LSU's up there. I mean, I'm giving a little credit for that. Yeah, I see why they put LSU all the way down at 14. But why in the world is LSU higher than A&M? When A&M beat LSU, it happened just 2 weeks ago. Come on. And obviously SMU, I mean, is up there. Way up there. Yeah, SMU could possibly jump in the top 10 here in the next couple weeks to get a win. I think SMU schedule looks pretty decent for them. Vanderbilt is back in the rank. Vanderbilt back in the rankings now. Yeah, I have more respect over Colorado than Washington State than the AP does. But, yeah, that we're pretty spot on with Army, Clemson being at those rankings right there. Yeah. And Boise State, I have them at 17, but AP has them all the way up at 12. Maybe they'll continue to climb up. And Louisville is now ranked at over their win over Clemson. But, yeah, oh yeah, I got a new, I had to create a new playoff graphic for, you know, the new rankings coming out tonight. But, yeah, I do not have a graphic yet for the new rankings as it's just now being revealed. I'll likely post one tonight on Twitter once I get one made. But this is what it'll look like if we're using the AP, which we're not be counting the AP anymore. But you see, SMU and LSU are just left out. Indiana is in. Indiana and Notre Dame are in. Wow. And then Iowa State's out. They're not even in the bubble anymore. BYU is in, though. Yeah, they got the 4th spot. But BYU ends up losing their next game. Iowa State's back in the bubble. Back in the race. And then Miami is at 3. Georgia 2. Oregon obviously 1. But, yeah. Let's look at the matchup. Boise State and Ohio State. That is going to be a good matchup. Love to see it. Ohio State wins. Indiana, Tennessee. I think that one is going to be a really good game. Would love to see that game. And then Alabama and Texas. Rematch. I'll take it. We'll love to see that game. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, rematch from last year. It'll be 3 years in a row that they play each other. But, yeah, love to see that. And Notre Dame and Penn State. Oh, yeah. How in the world is the team that lost to Vanderbilt a playoff team right now? And then Notre Dame, Penn State, yeah. Yep. All right, now let's move on to the NFL. Some little quick, I'm going to talk about the NFL actually, normally I talk about the NFL real quick, but I forgot. The main topic and the title is about the NFL. So let's do the first news real quick. The Cowboys will be without Dak Prescott likely for the next couple of weeks. I'm told for at least 2 to 3 weeks. You know, with the hamstring injury and still waiting on a CD Lance injury as well. Some key losses for Cowboys out the next couple of weeks. And here's a big one. If y'all watched Monday Night Football last night, y'all know what I'm talking about this. That, yeah. Buccaneers tied the ball game. Here, hold on. First, let's talk about the Chiefs, because it was the Chiefs versus the Buccaneers. So let's jump right in to the Chiefs. All right. Here's the final score of it. All right, the game goes to overtime. All right? We do a coin flip. All right? And, yeah, the Chiefs win. they want ball first. Obviously, because you score a touchdown, you win the game. 10 minutes are put on the clock in overtime. Yeah, and all the way, the Buccaneers, obviously, they went for the extra point to set it to overtime, going for 2 for the win. Likely thinking back, they're probably thinking, we should have just gone for 2. But anyway, yeah. Baker Mayfield's upset he lost a coin toss because you know that you give Patrick Mahomes a chance to win the game, he's winning the game. And they have his last drive, he has momentum. I mean, he is limping a little bit, but I mean, he looks fine with his ankle injury on his left ankle. But I mean, put him out there. I mean, just finding Travis Kelce. I mean, he's wide open every play. I don't know how it gets open. I don't know how the Buccaneers do not cover him. I mean, they're trying to cover him. He just somehow always seems to get open. But, you know, Buccaneers defense is not the best, especially when the team they're playing against has momentum, so there's no chance of stopping them. So, you know, Chiefs go down the field. They take their time. They take like 5 minutes. Very easy drive. Boom, touchdown. They win. And here's my problem with the NFL. That was the game. The Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, didn't even have a chance to redeem themselves. I mean, a coin flip. I mean, it was a great back. I mean, I mainly much as I love the Chiefs, you know, because they're closest to where I live. But yeah, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. Love to see that upset, and I'm a big fan of upsets as well. That was a really good game to watch. I mean, I usually don't, in the NFL, I really don't cheer for teams. I cheer for players. Cheer for players on both sides. So, it was really fun to watch this game, watching my favorite players have a great game, back and forth. And I wanted to see a great overtime game. I was really into it. And then the Chiefs win the game on a touchdown, and the Buccaneers didn't even have a chance. Baker Mayfield, very upset about it, obviously. I mean, I don't think even if the Buccaneers would have had an opportunity to do it in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, why have you put 10 minutes on the clock when score a touchdown, boom, it's over anyway. And even if the time expires, it just ends in a tie. What? Anyway, yeah, so I don't think the Buccaneers would have won. I think they probably would have gone close. I think they would have gotten field goal range. But I think if the Buccaneers would have gone first, they probably would have kicked the field goal, and I'm sure the Chiefs still would have probably won that game. Yeah, I still think the Chiefs probably would have won that game in overtime. But yeah, hey, surprise, surprise. I mean, football, crazy stuff happened. I mean, well, it's not called football, but yeah. How in the world NFL needs to change their rules? How in the world do you not give the opponent, the team, a chance to redeem themselves? And I want a good football game. You're seriously having a game end with a coin toss deciding the fate of the game. Why in the reason do you play 3 hours of football? I mean, seriously, 3 hours of football pretty much, and then, oh, let's go to overtime, and a coin flip decides who wins the game. Are you kidding me? Seriously. This is why I like college football so much better. I mean, there is a coin flip in college football, but both teams have a chance. They both touch the ball one way or another. And if you score a touchdown first in college football, the other team has the chance to respond. Anyway, I'm so done with it. I watched more NFL teams this year than I have last year, and we're only halfway through the season. And I gotta say, games have been pretty entertaining. I've been really into it, except for this game. I gotta say, after watching that game, that Monday Night Football, how that game ended, I think I might be done with watching NFL games until the Super Bowl. Very likely. I'm done with the NFL now. Anyway, yeah, there's the final score. Chiefs win 30-24 in overtime. But let's talk about the Cowboys. Yeah, real quick. They got demolished. Yeah. Falcons won 27-21. I am done with the Cowboys as well. Yeah, dealing with injuries now. And still had the closest I've ever seen them play. And they had battling injuries in that game. But quick scoreboard recap. I just got 2 games. Ravens completely blew out the Broncos 41-10, and the Lions beat the Packers 24-14. Not doing my main segment this week because I had a lot to talk about. You know, that big segment I just talked about, and also college basketball is back. Yep, let's do a scoreboard recap. Yeah, we had a couple upsets as well, and bringing out the bottom line. Yeah, I'm not going to be talking about the big teams or the teams we cover in this one. Just talking about the big upsets that happened on opening night. But yeah, UCF. First game of the season beats A&M 64-61. The first ranked upset we have in UCF stormed the court. And then Texas, oh yeah, this was a neutral site game. Texas loses to Ohio State 80-72. So yeah, one of the teams I now cover gets their first upset. Likely, and they're ranked as well. So likely gonna jump out of the next rankings. We'll see about that. I think we go in a week long into, or a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks into the season until the next rankings come out for college basketball. But yeah, college basketball's already underway. NBA is in action. Yeah, let's do a quick scoreboard recap for the NBA. Yeah, the Mavericks and the Thunder. Yeah, really not really score, but yeah, they actually have some games tomorrow. Yeah, they have tonight off due to the election. Yeah, go vote. The Mavericks and the Bulls. Yeah, Mavericks are 4-3, not very good, but we're waiting for the Thunder and the Mavericks rematch, and I think the Thunder might actually handle them. I don't know, we'll see. But Thunder are 7-0, the first NBA team to start their first 7 games 7-0, undefeated. Wow. And, I mean, the Thunder completely, and I mean, I watched the Thunder game last night. They handled the Magics very, very well. Despite struggling a little bit late in the last 5 minutes, it still won the game. Anyway, back to college football. Friday night football, yeah, California versus Wake Forest. They're both 4-4 ACC network. Not even that big of a game. But Iowa, UCLA. I'm only talking about this one mainly because UCLA has been known to pull off some upsets this year. They're 3-5. No shot. And going to a bowl game this year. But Iowa is in the hunt for the Big Ten. Can UCLA ruin Iowa's Big Ten season? We'll find out Friday night, 8 o'clock on FS1. And we have some playoff impact games this Saturday. 2:30 ABC. We've got Georgia versus Ole Miss. Number 2 versus 16. As of right now, we're still waiting on the rankings to be released. It probably already is. I haven't seen it yet. I'll watch the show right after recording this. But yeah. There, and for some reason, that I don't know why it says their rankings twice. That is the little glitch. It's supposed to be their conference record. Let's see if I can fix that real quickly. But yeah, Georgia is 5-1 in conference. Yeah, I still don't know why it did that. I'm fixing it right now. And then Ohio State. Ole Miss is 3-2 in conference. So yeah, it's gonna be a big game. We're finally seeing some offense from Ohio State, like we've been waiting all season long for. But yeah, it's going to be a big game. Georgia has been a second half team. Ole Miss has been an all team. We'll see how Ohio State can respond to Georgia's offense in the second half, because that's when the offense tends to show up, and that's when the defense tends to show up as well. So, yeah. A good defense versus good offense is really the main show in this game. And then on to Alabama and LSU. Yep, Alabama is 3-2 in conference. And LSU, yeah, they're 3-1. Their only loss is to A&M, which now I think is a bad loss with A&M's loss. But, yeah. It's going to be a big game, prime time, 6:30, ABC. Really looking forward to this game. It's going to be a really playoff impact game for sure. And Alabama looking to jump back in the top 10. If Alabama loses this game, their playoff hopes is out. Yeah, if you lose this game, you're out of the playoff. Go back to Georgia and Ohio State. You lose this game, you're likely out of the playoff. We're in November. You win or you're done. You lose in November, your season's pretty much over. Your chance of being successful this season is done. I mean, if you're ranked and you lose in November, your playoff chance is over. If you go undefeated in November and you start ranked at the beginning of November, you have a good shot of going to the playoffs. I'll say that. Just got to get to your competition game, and you got a chance. Anyway, yeah. Got a new show lined up for you. Yeah. Slater Podcast. This show you're watching right now every Tuesday at 6. And our flagship show, American Game Day, every Saturday at 10 a.m. And social media-wise, debatable. Still going back and forth on it, but it'll be a really quick reaction show to CFP Top 25 that's coming out tonight. It'll be out Wednesday afternoon. All right, thank you all for watching this week's episode of Slater Podcast. I'll see you all next time. This is the Slater Report Podcast.